That's the sound of the coffee pouring. Welcome to the Doctor's Brew. I'm your host, Dr. Abdulaziz Khayyat, and having coffee with us today is Dr. Sameera Shuaibi. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Aziz. It's good to be here. You've got a really good thing going on. I'm very excited to have this, let's say, sit down with you, and hopefully a lot of people will benefit from that.
I am certain a lot of people are going to benefit from this because I've benefited from all the things you've told me about your journey. So let's introduce our topic today, talk about some coffees, shout outs, and then dive into the meat of it, right?
Okay.
So, deciding where to go for specialty training, also known as residency. Side note, whenever I say residency, everyone asks me, oh, don't you have a passport?
Yeah, exactly. I know. I understand. I mean, it's the name itself. It dates back way back because I think people or doctors in the past used to spend so much time in the hospital. They were literally residents in the hospital.
Is that why?
Yeah,
really?
I think so. That's why we're called residents in a
Okay.
hospital, not in a country.
So in a way, I am applying for residency somewhere to reside in a hospital. There we
To
go.
live there.
To live there. So, more often than not, we seek out someone who's gone through the process to be able to guide us. I did that with Dr. Sam or Sameera. What should we refer to you as on the podcast?
Dr. Sam. Oh,
Dr. Sam. Dr. Sam has, really helped me. It cleared up things for me. Now, what I've noticed, at least for Kuwait, is that there's a large degree of mystery about how to go to one place in particular for residency, and that is the United States of America. It's now to shed light on any aspiring U.S. resident. Here with us today is Dr. Sam. She studied medicine here in Kuwait, in KU, correct?
Yes, I studied medicine KU. I did 3 years of uh, internal medicine in the Kuwaiti board before I left and I joined the American board for internal medicine. I think I love internal medicine way too much for my own safety.
Yeah. You prolonged residency, essentially.
I did, but because of the, let's say, the complicated process that the U.S. residency or the match process, I couldn't just lay back and do nothing, and
Yeah.
for that reason, I had to basically. I actually was interested in the Kuwaiti board at first, so it wasn't actually a very bad idea. I actually had fantastic time. It was brilliant, but at the same time, I found that my aspirations on the long term will be more met in the U.S. residency, which is actually the number one in the world.
Really?
Yes, U.S. residency is the number one residency in the world.
I didn't know that.
Now you know.
No, because we'll get into this in a second.
Okay.
I have some points here.
Okay.
And am I right to say that you have not announced this just yet publicly?
I have not announced it, and actually only a few people know.
Wow.
And amongst those few people are the people in this room and yourself. So, yeah, it's a great deal. I
We're-
can't wait till it's out.
We're so honored that we're the platform to share this information. So
Yep.
thank you again. Now, talking about our coffee today. So we are drinking Mikkel or Mikkel. It's a cafe that's in Tijariya Tower. I really like them because they're Greek, which is, I don't think we appreciate the diversity of like coffee brands and whatnot. Every time I'm in Tijariya, which is weirdly a lot, I pass by.
Why?
What's it called? I have a friend who works there.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. So I'm always drinking coffee there. Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Now, so tell us your honest opinion. What do you think of the coffee? They haven't sponsored us or anything. I always like to talk
It's
about
actually
coffee.
brilliant, and I love that they have the Statue of Liberty over here.
Oh, there we
going
go.
on,
Fitting,
so-
fitting.
Yeah, it's like it's a sign.
Yeah, right.
So I love it. It's very creative and it tastes really well. Actually, really good. I have Spanish over here. It tastes spot on, actually. So I wouldn't change a thing about it.
Yeah, I like the mugs.
Me too.
They're funky.
They're
fresh.
very. I think the person who designed them is very creative.
I
Actually,
like it. I like it.
Yeah, they've got the Greek what's it called, things going on
Je ne
back
sais
there.
quoi.
Is that Greek?
No, that's French. That's French. Mikkel, you have our seal of approval here at the Doctor's Brew, and you have Dr. Sam's approval, which
You
is even
do.
better than our approval. So, some shout outs real quick before we get in here. Like I said before, plenty of times on the podcast, I'm wearing Dream Med scrubs. This is the UAE scrubs brand, and they're super comfortable. I love that they're local. We've been partnered with them this month. They've been super nice in sending me over some scrubs, and I've been wearing them on the wards. People have asked me like, "Hey, where do you get these from?" They're really cool, so I really recommend. Also for you, now that you're going to residency,
Take them with me all the way to US.
yeah, rep some Arab scrubs. You know,
I will. I'll flaunt that.
There
I'll
we
flaunt
go.
that. Yep.
And then the other thing is Studio Stretch. Studio Stretch is a stretch studio in Shuaibi. They are brand new, kind of the first concept of their kind in Kuwait. They do stretches. They stretch you out. I wouldn't call it massage per se because I went a few times, because it's not necessarily a massage, but it's kind of like it's almost like a combination between yoga and massage if you think about it.
Okay.
Yeah, super cool.
Something new.
Yeah, and they're in Shuwaikh, so when I was in Sabah, I actually went to them after a day of long khafara. So check out Stretch Studio in Shuwaikh. So let's dive into the meat of this. The most important thing, why we're here. We want to know all about you. Before we get into residency in the States, about you itself, why medicine, why internal medicine, that kind of stuff. Tell us.
So basically, actually, every specialty is very interesting in medicine. I mean, as in medicine, surgery, radiology, internal medicine. But I find myself at internal medicine, and it opens too many pathways for you. After you're done with that residency period, you can subspecialize into a diverse ocean of specialties.
True.
So you're not just obligated with a single specialty.
True.
And that is something that I like. I have options in case I do not want to basically stay put at medicine, which is plausible, by the way. But in the meantime, having options ahead of you is pretty good. And I like diversity, different cases, even the residency process. You don't just get let's say you don't just join medicine. You get to view every subspecialty there is, including the elective periods, whatever you like. So you're not just in medicine, and that for me is very nice because you get to change. You don't get bored every, let's say, 2 weeks, 1 month, depends on your let's say institution where you match. So for me, it's the diversity of it, the ocean of knowledge. And basically, I like the patient interaction. I like long term. I like seeing my patients. I like following them up in the wards and the OPDs. I like that. So basically, medicine fits me very well. I was steered towards surgery at the beginning of my career, up until 7th year, actually, yeah. I still have a very huge passion for surgery, but I do not see myself there, honestly.
Yeah.
I do not see with my lifestyle. I like medicine. I think it fits me more suitably.
I'm not an internist, but as in like I don't want to be an internist. I'm aiming for psychiatry.
Don't anger us. No.
But I will compliment. There's one thing that I loved about medicine, which during my rotation, which was the doctor that I imagined in my head during med school, like the stereotype traditional doctor,
Yes.
That's what I imagined. That an internist is that for me.
Exactly. Yes.
Because they know everything about everyone, everywhere.
They know too much. Sometimes it's scary.
No, I'll tell you, it's not scary. It's annoying, and I'll explain why.
Lord.
No, I'll explain why. There's someone with me in my rotation right now who just knows everything. He's so smart, and I just looked at him like, medicine, right? He's like, yeah, of course I want to go into medicine. You guys are top of your field at like just knowing things. It's amazing, honestly. You put such a shame.
I mean, psychiatrists. I have respect. I have utmost respect for psychiatrists. For you to be an aspiring psychiatrist, that is, I actually applaud you for that. By the way,
Thank you.
You guys know a little bit too much as well, huh? So.
Yeah, we go deep and personal.
Yes, you go deep and personal. Sometimes too personal, but but what I'm saying is, it's one of those specialties. Sorry, Mr. Microphone.
Yeah.
It's all right. It's all right.
Annoying, right?
Yeah, that's fine. It's fine. Anyway, sometimes it gets a little bit too annoying for us as well. By the way, the knowledge, but I guess it's very nice. It's evolving.
It is.
You get new guidelines, criteria every now and then, so everything.
The
is
research
growing.
is brand new. All the time.
Yeah.
Now, since you're now, you mentioned long-term aspirations. You want to end up in the States, and where I don't mean like as in working there long-term. I mean residency.
Specialization,
Yeah. So if that's the case, is there a reason why? I would expect that you'd at least for undergrad go abroad, not stay in Kuwait. You know, so is there a reason Kuwait was a better fit for you?
Yeah, familial,
Okay.
social norms.
Mm.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not that back. Basically, because it was just like a social or a familial issue. I was the only girl in the family.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my mom was not ready to let go of her chosen child.
No, I get
so,
that. I get that.
So she's like, stay here and, you know, you'll get whatever you want in life. So I said, okay, I can't turn that offer down. And actually, I'm very glad. I don't think I was ready at that time.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll ever be ready to travel abroad, to be honest.
Yeah. It
But
takes a lot. It takes a lot.
it takes, you know, blood, sweat, and tears. Mostly tears.
A lot of
The girls'
tears.
sakes.
A lot of tears.
Anyways, what I'm trying to say is, yeah, so it was just like that. And actually, I'm very glad. I had, you know, the benefit of staying in Kuwait for Kuwait University. You have so much support,
Yeah.
social, familial, all that. You know, you've got, you've got a lot of help at home. You don't have to worry about the cooking, cleaning. You don't have to worry about no rent, nothing. So you just have to study.
At the at the smallest thing possible, just
Laundry,
license.
for example.
Laundry.
Example, yeah.
The little things that really just annoy you when
Exactly.
you're abroad, you know. So I can relate to that.
So I was very
definitely.
comfortable here.
Yeah.
Our college was very difficult, very difficult. I reckon it still is. But I'm glad I think I would do it again. Actually,
Really?
yes, I would do. I would
That's
definitely
amazing.
do it again. The only thing I would do different is I'd wish back in my day we were more educated at Kuwait University Faculty of Medicine regarding the USMLEs. I only found
Yeah.
out about them in 6th year.
Yeah.
So it was like I'm gonna do all that again.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to get over medicine at that stage.
Yeah.
Because it's only getting more complicated, more clinical,
Yeah.
and it gets more difficult. You got on-calls as a
Yeah.
student, so I was barely trying to make it, because I found out too late. So that's when I started, continuing my research journey, maybe volunteering and all that. And then I said after that, I'm just gonna focus on my exams because it was, I had to focus on my extracurriculars at that time, and
Yeah.
I was showered with research.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. And then I graduated and did my exams. But I wish, I did my exams, up to date
Yeah.
with every bit,
Of course.
ever,
Of course.
ever since first year. I wouldn't delay it.
I feel the exact same way. Okay. Sorry, we took a quick break there. You guys probably didn't notice, but we did.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Again, we were talking about if you were to do everything over, you said you would definitely do KU over again. You felt comfortable, but in terms of the exams and stuff, you wish you would have done them earlier.
Yeah.
Now see, for me, from day one, because I had really good people close to me, family members that advised me. They said, do your exams from day one. Do step one with preclinical years. I tried. I couldn't do it. And the reason why, and I'd love to hear your opinion on this. Don't you find, at least what I found, that because the curriculums are different, your mindset, not necessarily the knowledge, your mindset in
Yes.
approaching questions, the way you study, is so different that the studying doesn't actually match up.
Yes. I mean, I agree. I agree with that. There's there's a lot of sense to that. But at the same time, I think, covalent bonds here are the same as the covalent bonds there, right? But I know preclinical years are the worst years of anyone's life,
Yeah.
so
It's not fun.
it's not fun, it's difficult, it's nerve-wracking, it's
Yes.
treacherous.
Yes.
So, what I'm trying to say is you're trying to get through with one basket and then you're just adding
Another thing.
another basket, and
Yeah.
you can't balance at that time because there are two very large schools or very large entities. So I understand the struggle, by the way.
True.
But I think where people are fortunate in that sense is American universities or American medical schools. They're just steered down the USMLE course. So it's very
Yes,
easy for not easy, but
absolutely.
it's like the path is carved. The school relies on the USMLE, so
Yes.
the teaching is steered that way,
And the thinking.
and the thinking.
And in the UK, we would use PassMed, for
Yes,
example.
exactly.
While in, American students are doing UWorld from the day that they enter med school.
Yeah,
You know?
maybe from high school also.
It really is, in terms of mentally, it's set up differently how you approach these exams, these things.
Of course, there's no question in that, and every school has its own, let's say, policies, or there's their own rules.
Yeah.
Especially my college, it was really difficult. Like, with this, if USMLE was water, my university was coffee. It was
Really?
like, yeah, it was. They would, you would still. It's the same concept: covalent bonds here, covalent bonds there.
Yeah.
But the only issue is, it's not. It's still a struggle, because you have to set your mind towards the way they're trying to teach you.
Yes.
And
yes,
you
yes,
cannot
yes.
scramble it
Yes.
in order to steer it the other way. So your university wants to make sure you graduate as a safe doctor with, and to satisfy that, there are A, B, C.
Yeah.
And the other school, USMLE, they just want to make sure, for example, safe doctor and all that, but at the same time they want to make sure that you
In
know your
addition to
knowledge.
that.
Yes, you know
Yes.
your knowledge. So they have different goals,
Fine.
let's say.
Fine.
Because USMLE is just an exam at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Their colleges, they have their, let's say, end of rotation exams as well, right? So that makes sure that they're safe and all that. But I think it is too much to handle, to be honest.
Yeah.
But you have to be very motivated
You do.
in order to make it to the US.
And if I could add just one thing about the difference between American students, in my perspective, to us non-American students.
Yeah.
Medicine in the U.S. is a postgraduate degree.
Yes.
Personally, I went into medicine out of high school, and the maturity level in terms of your learning and studying style
It's not the same.
is not the same.
Yes.
And I'm not saying necessarily, you just don't study well in high school. No, there's plenty of people that did all-nighters in high school studying for exams. I'm not trying to say that, but
You throwing shade at me or what?
I just mean that, like, when the way you study for medicine is so different to nobody understands.
Yes.
When people tell me, "Oh, did you study for your test? You've been studying for months." I'm like, "Yeah, it does not end." And they're like, "Oh, it can't be that bad." No, it is. It's
Do
worse.
they really sound like that?
A little bit. So sorry to my friends who do sound like that. You know who you are.
Sorry, but you know who you are.
Okay, so let's dive into this whole issue with going to the U.S. The process itself is super complicated, super weird. I'd love to hear your perspective on the process, bearing in mind you are an Arab doctor.
Yes.
It's different to every
An
IMG
IMG.
stories. Yeah, and
Yes.
especially also if you can touch up on the options for Kuwaitis, if you know them, here in Kuwait.
Okay, so basically, the U.S. residency or match process is the most miserable process. I mean it. I'm looking you dead in the eye. It's miserable, but it's doable.
Okay.
Okay, especially if you start soon enough. Now, there are a set of standards that they expect of you, and they expect you to be the top in everything. If it was your exams, if it was your school scores, or if it was, for example, your research, your let's say your volunteering processes, all that, they expect you to be the best. Okay, so for example, other residency programs, they expect you to have 2 to 4 researchers, for example, to get into medicine. Now, the average for internal medicine this year was higher, for example, in terms of research,
How much was it?
around 4 to 5, 4 to 6. That's
Okay.
to guarantee you a spot.
Is that experiences or
No, that's
publications?
Publications.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, and it keeps getting harder every year. I mean, how? When do you have time? So, it's very, very difficult, but it's doable. You have to start early. You have to have stamina for it.
Okay.
You have to have a plan. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So, you do good in your exams, and then you focus on your volunteer and extracurriculars. Bear in mind that you have a lot of research that you have to be submerged into.
Yep.
So I have up to today about 12 publications,
MashaAllah.
and I'm still not done. And once you start, you don't stop. They motivate you. They make you. They turn you. In the process, you find that you grew as a physician massively. And I'm not saying that because I just really call them miserable. I'm not saying that to kind of like
Yeah.
make them look good or anything. But actually, when you do or you comply with their recommendations or their, let's say, or their orders, you actually grow without knowing them.
I
Without
felt
knowing
like
it.
that.
Yes.
I studied for the I just finished the step 2.
Excellent. How did you do?
I
How do you think you did?
I think I did well. I think I did
Okay.
well. I think what it taught me more than anything was the way you study and approach and expect your grades for this exam is very different than anything else you've ever done in your life. Yeah. All honesty, do you mind, like, what do you think is the minimum step one? Well, now it's pass fail. Step two score. Do you think people
For an
should be
IMG,
thinking? Yes.
not endorsed by the government, or endorsed by the government.
Let's go with both.
260.
260.
IMG not endorsed by the government. 260. You will be safe.
Okay, no. I'm not talking about safe. I'm talking about the minimum for, let's say, the.
Within the range, for me, if I was an IMG,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say 240. Not with the competition that is going on right now, especially after post-COVID.
Right.
A lot of people could not attain visas, so everyone kind of like piled up to the years that are coming now.
Right, okay.
So you want to be safe. When I say 250,
Yeah.
you're safe and you're not.
Yeah.
250, you're safe and you're not. But honestly, you want to be safe. You want to go into the match process knowing that, okay, 260, that will guarantee you an
So
interview.
that's step two.
Step 2 score. As an
Okay.
IMG, not endorsed by the government. By the government, 235 and above,
You're
you're good.
You're good.
You're good.
Now.
You're
okay.
good. You're good.
You're good. You got the moolah. You're fine.
Muy bien.
Now, okay, fine. Let's say someone does the steps, okay? Because what I learned about with the step exams, you should Reddit. Reddit was a savior for me because
Oh
I had
my
a lot of
God.
information.
People have read it. You saved my life.
Yeah, really. Thank you.
Wallah, they're amazing people.
Yeah, really.
And I keep telling people, read Reddit, and they don't.
No, you should. No. Anyone listening to this for the exams, you need to. There was resources I discovered through Reddit.
Me
and
too.
If I didn't tap into,
Yeah.
no way.
I would have lost at least 10, 20 marks.
Oh, at least.
Yes.
At least. Easily.
Blindly.
Now, so my question is this. Let's say someone does the steps,
Mm.
okay? They get... the minimum score you just said was a 235, right?
A safe score for government endorsed.
Let's
But
say-
you can still go below that. But you have to have, as an IMG, I'm saying,
Yes.
you have to have...
IMG is International Medical
Yes.
Graduate for anyone listening. Yeah.
So a non-US IMG, I'm
Mhm.
talking. Okay? So these numbers will not fail. Both ways. And
Mm-hmm.
even government endorsed, if you get more than 230, I would say, you just tap onto the 230.
Mm-hmm.
You would know that you will land interviews.
Okay.
But if you're a non-US IMG, 250, 260 should not be below that. I actually did the step 2 CS also
Oh, wow.
before it was put
Removed.
down. They keep going back and forth. Some people say they're gonna bring it back. Some people say that it's gonna. Anyways, it was a very bad process.
I heard it's very tough.
It's at least 9 hours of clinical exam, like an OSCE.
9 hours?
Yeah, with a break. It's 9 hours. But of course, once you come in, you're not gonna come in. If the exam starts at 8,
Too much.
you're not gonna come at 7:59. You're coming there at 7.
Mhm.
I went there at 6:30
Wow.
because of logistic lesions. But it was a very bad exam. I came out of the exam. I remember that CS exam, and I think it's a huge mercy that they put it down
Yeah.
because
And the pass fail for step one.
I mean, that's very bad news for IMGs.
Okay, yes, because it helps you, it weakens your ability to distinguish. However,
Yeah.
I personally like the fact that I would rather rely on a score that distinguishes me based off clinical knowledge than based off preclinical, personally.
You have a point, but IMGs need reasons to be distinguished.
True.
The more, the better.
Mm.
Trust me, I've been in that process. If you're a non-US IMG
Mm-hmm.
and not government endorsed, government endorsed is you will
Much
be
better.
endorsed,
Yeah.
but not non-government endorsed, non-US IMGs. You need these opportunities. It is
Yeah.
extremely bad news to have pass fail. It's easier to get a pass now, easier to pass the step 1, but now you're relying on a single exam score.
Yeah.
And you have all these applicants, and you might be seriously, let's say, gifted.
Yeah.
But that score, and what if you mess up in that score?
That's
And then one of them could help the other.
true.
And it happens more often than not,
Yeah,
by the way.
my stress with step 2 right now was I was like, it all goes on this one score,
Exactly.
which is a bit of a lot of pressure. You know, it's
A
too
bit.
much.
It's extremely
Yeah.
stressful.
Now,
So, you know, that's what I'm saying. But step one,
trauma, PTSD.
I mean, you know, we're going to have a psych session after this one with you. I'm going to talk about step one.
To backtrack, just to review kind of the current requirements for the United States, the bare minimum requirements is you need to go step one, which is a preclinical exam, which is pass fail now recently. Step two, CK, clinical knowledge, which is a clinical multiple choice exam. Both are 8 to 9 hours long. Then there is I believe there's a, instead of step two CS, now there's like another form.
pathway.
There's a pathway
And
that you need
then-
to be approved in the hospital.
Yes.
People need to check you off, basically.
I didn't do that, by the way, because they took in my CS.
Your CS, right.
So that, you know, that I actually passed. And I remember exiting the exam hall and finding my mom told her, I just failed, Mom. That's what I thought. I thought
Everybody
I failed.
leaves thinking they failed every
Yes.
one of these exams, and it is a known feeling. I wrote a Reddit post about this because when I left, I was so calm because I knew that I will feel like I failed regardless, so I
Yes.
didn't care.
Yes.
I left and I was like, whatever,
I'm done with it.
I'm done.
And I'm never going to do it again. Actually, you will do a lot of it again.
There's step 3 in residency.
There is step 3, and they do have the yearly, let's say, at least for medicine, they have the yearly, what's it called, in assessment exams. They are 9 hours long.
There you go. So you're going to be tested repeated.
So you will be immune for the 9-hour process with time, actually. So it will be like, what? When someone presents you with a suggestion of a 2-hour exam or a 3-hour exam, you'll be like, what? What's a
wish.
2-hour
I
exam?
wish.
What's a 2-hour exam? That's so no. You if you comply with whatever they need and you make it through, you would just. I think the U.S. residency, the medical residency, by the way, carves you into the way that they want you to be. Dr. Sam now is not the same as the Dr. Sam who was 3 years ago before she started her USMLEs.
Really?
Absolutely not. No comparison. No comparison when it comes to medical knowledge, to the way I view things, to the way I hypothesize medical situations, for example. Absolutely not. And even the motivations, now I am a motivated person who wants to do more research, more volunteering, more this and more that. They carve you by the end of the process. Once you reach the match, the time of the match, or once you start applying, you will be the doctor that they want you to be, with the knowledge that they expect you to have, with let's say the mantra that they expect you to have. So I think that is something I'm very grateful for, actually. There is nothing that I lost out of joining the US match process. Had I not matched, I would say the same thing, by the way, because I elevated in terms of medical knowledge, in terms of my ambitions, in terms of how I look at things and how I want to pursue things. Completely different than who I was before, to be honest.
Now I want to touch up on, you said, what if I didn't match? So let's say someone doesn't get as high a score. They got a 232. No, 232. I'm saying, I'm talking bare minimums here.
Okay.
Right? They're not government endorsed. Should they go through the match or don't
Of
waste
course,
your
go
time?
through the match.
Why?
Because there is hope. If they are non-US, still there is hope. First of all,
How?
I'll tell you. Connections, my friend.
Haha.
Connections.
Okay.
Add sound effects to that. Connections.
You know what? Wait, hold on. I'm writing this down for my producer to add this in. Continue.
Yusuf from London, please add special
Please.
effects. Anyways, I think one of the most important things in this process is connections. Because what I mean by connections is you showcase yourself to a program or another. You do an elective, not paid, of course. You don't get paid. And the best ones are the ones that you don't pay, except for, some logistic registration fees. Other than that, the ones that you join, you join like a last year medical student, sort of like that. Okay, and you join their rounds, you join their sitting sessions, you join, all their activities, they're hands-on or not, and they get to see who you are, not just the application paper that they will receive one day. So you give them, let's say, an intel as to who you are, because at the end of the day, once you apply to the U.S. board, you're a piece of paper, and there are set rules. Step two should be above that. Step one should pass from the first try. Number of researchers to guarantee you a spot 4 to 5, for example, in medicine. For example, you'll be very safe at that range, and then all the other activities, number of, let's say, electives and etc. So, for me, you're not just a piece of paper like. At match day, for example, or during application,
You come to life.
you come to life. Like, oh yeah, I remember this person. This
Yeah,
person was
yeah.
very energetic, even if her score is, let's say, 220,
Yeah.
230. But she's energetic. Her personality matches the one that we'd like to harbor at our program, and I think she's a perfect fit. She's more than just a score. And you get to show them how important you are to them, and to you. You get to see if that place is good. It fits
True.
your goals or not. Sometimes it's just, simple things that you might not end up liking. And that way, you wouldn't be doing they wouldn't be doing you any injustice, and you don't want to end up in a place that you don't want at the same time, because you would not be living up to your best of capabilities.
Yes.
Not in all instances, of course, but in a lot of scenarios, that is true. So for me, if I were to give an advice, even if you're not, you haven't scored, you don't have a state of the art score at step 2, let's say, CK, go for connections. Go for me, honestly, I'm saying every connection, I mean electives. When I say connections, go for electives. Electives are vital, or observership.
But I'm gonna challenge you with something.
Oh.
You're speaking to a COVID baby doctor. Basically, I had my elective all ready. COVID. All electives canceled. Nobody's allowed to go. Now I'm working in Kuwait.
It's never too late.
Never too late.
I did my elective after graduating medical school.
There we go. Okay.
And if someone tells you, oh, but it's an observership, don't go, go. Go.
I like that attitude.
They will ask you questions.
Yeah.
You will answer or you won't. They will see your knowledge. They will see how you approach things. Go, even if it's not hands-on.
Yeah.
And do not limit your elective experiences to a single place. Maybe that place has an agenda of its own. Maybe you don't end up satisfying them. Your personality is not what they want. That's it. You have to go with it. عادي, no hard feelings.
Yeah. No harm, no foul.
Exactly. So you have to go to multiple places and to see. First of all, it will increase your chances. Once your application process is sent, you can, for example, email the people that you were with, telling them, oh, by the way, I have a huge interest in your program. Thank you for having me at that time. I applied to your program. Just people know you, so that when you get recommendation letters from these areas, this will help you a lot once you apply, because they know the name the recommendation came from.
Yeah.
This doctor works at this, let's say, specialty, or that specialty in the hospital. So
Sure.
I can go call him as a program director, and what do you think? She has impressive scores, or she has whatever, or she doesn't have that impressive scores. She's average, but your recommendation is beautiful. Tell me more about her. So you might land interviews that way. Recommendation letters, U.S. residency programs adore U.S. recommendation.
But what about, for example, in Kuwait?
Yeah.
There's not many people who have graduated the U.S. board. Would a lot of people who graduate from Canada, they did residency in Canada, or they did a fellowship in the States. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Do those recommendation letters would you say they're also sufficient or no?
I used those.
Okay.
Actually, there were a couple of amazing Kuwaiti consultants that I worked with. I actually chose them, and I wanted to work for them, and they end up giving me recommendations. And I'm saying, we have amazing Kuwaiti doctors here, or graduated from the US board or not graduated, they
Yeah.
are amazing.
Yeah.
But the US board is very proud of itself. So, and actually it's like the wolf pack. They trust their own.
Yeah.
So a person graduated from their place or a person who's already in their place, they will, let's say, they will actually take that person's word more than a person who lives in the middle of the Middle East.
Yeah.
He might be a brilliant doctor, but I don't know him. He didn't graduate. He doesn't have those American affiliations.
Yes.
Let's say.
Yes.
So they trust their own people. For example, me, one day, if I graduate from the US board, I end up giving a recommendation letter with my credentials, with my, I'm a US certified physician one day, they will take my recommendation into consideration. But it's still not the same as the recommendation letter of a doctor who's still working at that program. For example, if you do a nephrology elective and you end up applying to internal medicine at that hospital, a nephrologist who you rotated with is very impressed, writes you a recommendation letter, you apply to that program. This is very vital. This recommendation letter is gonna help you a lot.
Okay.
I reckon that the program director will or might communicate with that doctor and see his input about it. So you have a better chance. You're no longer an application. You are a piece of paper now with another piece of paper proving that you're good after you've been in their program before. So you see how important it is? So even if your score is average, you have amazing extracurriculars, you have a good standing at college, I don't think you should stop. Go. I recommend to, if I like to talk about safety. That was very nice. Safety. I like to talk about safety because in this process you need to be safe.
Yeah.
Go for the numbers that make you safe. Go for the publications that number of publications that will give you safety in that level. So for me, when it comes, if I were to choose, I would go for 3 electives, 1 month. You said that you're a COVID baby. There were the online. They would carry you around with the cow, the computer on wheels, and that costed a lot at that time.
Yeah.
But it's not the same as in person, of
No,
course.
it's you're still on the.
Of course. But now, even after you graduate, you can go for observership. That's something you have to know. A graduated physician who graduated medical school,
Can only go for an observership.
for observership.
Which is hands off.
Hands off.
But a medical student.
Can go to a hands-on experience.
Yes.
But you can explain that I graduated, there was COVID, I couldn't, so I had to stay and graduate.
Correct.
That is why, or else I would have opted for the hands-on.
And now, how do you go about securing your elective/observerships? Just emails, or is there pathways?
I think we need sound effects again for this one because I sent 5,000 emails.
No, you're joking.
I sent 5,000 emails.
You're joking.
5,000 emails. 5,000.
Wait, you wrote each one individually?
It's the same template.
Okay.
I'm giving you guys too much information. My God. La, it was 5,000 emails.
Wow.
And then with the help of my friends, actually I have to name them, Mace and Shayum Nizi. Thank you guys. They were helping me with emails. So I had a template. I would change my name, I would send my CV, and I know the places that I want to reach out to.
Right.
Okay. And this entire process was, aided by my friends. But I remember going about 3 months approximately to try to send the 5,000 emails. I was very determined. My God, when I look back into it, that's why I said miserable process. No, wait a minute, miserable process. So it's, oh my God. So I do not, this is my personal opinion. Please don't start a hashtag against Dr. Sam right now. My personal opinion, I do not like paid electives.
Okay.
Companies that are paid, I do not favor. I like them. I don't. For example, if you have a non-paid, if you can land an elective alone, that is for me more valuable than an elective through a paid company.
How come?
Because, I mean, okay. how can I be nice about it? Look, I like the paid companies. They help students. Sometimes,
Who are in need.
yeah, 5,000 emails, and I only got like a few responses.
Really?
Very few responses.
Okay.
Not even 0.1%. And what I'm trying to say is they will know that you came through money. You did not come through
Showing yourself.
Showing yourself.
Okay.
That doesn't mean you're bad if you go
No.
through money. Sometimes it's the only way, actually, and I salute them
Yeah.
actually for doing that. I
A
salute
foot in the
them.
door is still a foot in the door.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I mean, they're helping people out and stuff. And I would, if you don't have any other option, go through them.
Yeah.
Make yourself seen. Do not let a summer holiday pass without, especially towards the last few years, even after graduating, without going for an elective, paid or not paid.
Okay.
But for me, when it comes, even as a physician, one day, if I was a program director, would I read a recommendation letter written by a doctor in one of the specialties in the hospital, or written by a doctor who's in one of the clinics in the US, not in the hospital? Or let's say sometimes it is in the hospital, but the recommendation letter is stamped sometimes with the company seal. And
Why would it be stamped by the company seal?
Yeah, it does. I've heard a lot about that.
But why? That I feel like that
Yeah.
doesn't that hurt your chance?
Exactly.
Like-
Which is why. But nonetheless, that I did try to apply through them. By the way, when I saw like I'm sending 5,000 emails, I'm not getting any response back. So hey, I need to get going. So شو السالفة يعني؟
Yeah.
حلوة هذه شو السالفة. ف basically فصار فيني لا you put a seal on it, and then I'm not sure which clinic I'm gonna end up in. So
Yeah.
I will start my way. It doesn't work out, I'll go through the companies, and there's absolutely nothing wrong. These companies, Sarah, by the way, can get you some really nice hospitals.
Really?
But my advice is ask them, will the recommendation letter be sealed by your company? Because I do not want the template of the recommendation letter to have anything within its borders
Right.
that includes your company, because at the end of the day, it's my work. You're just an agent to get me on board. But there are so many companies coming up, and some of them, newer generation ones, are actually good. So you'd have to read a lot about them in Reddit, actually. And sometimes they are really good. I mean, I'm not trying to generalize. There might be some good companies that I don't know about that can send you off, that are genuine, and that are actually motivated towards making things happen without including their seal or anything. If you find a company like that, go for it.
Yeah.
But don't stay home. Don't stay here. Travel. If you don't, meanwhile, keep sending the emails.
Okay.
You never know. Especially the southern states, they're very hot on trying to accept people onto electives.
Right.
They're very
They like having people.
Texas especially. If I were to give an advice, go for Texas, guys. So yeah, and so I'm not saying they're not good. I'm not saying they're bad.
Just try your own way first.
Just try your own way. In the meantime, test them out. Ask them how a recommendation is going to be written, who's going to write them, how many weeks.
Yeah.
Always make sure, like, if you do an elective for 2 weeks, the program director will read your recommendation, will know it's only 2 weeks. It was garbage.
No, okay.
What will you prove in 2 weeks? You
Now,
can't even start a relationship
What if
that fast.
someone doesn't go for an
Right?
elective? Should they even apply?
Very difficult.
Very difficult. Okay, so it's vital.
Yeah, for me, you asked me about the scores. I told you keep going.
Yeah.
Electives will give you US recommendation letters.
And those are the
Very
key.
important. You have to apply for 4. For example, for medicine, you have to apply for 4. One of them is the dean of your university. So now you're left with 3.
Wait, one of them has to be
The dean of your university.
really. It has to be.
Go hunt down your dean.
Wow. Okay.
لا بس they understand. They're very good. The dean at our university was a very nice doctor. He was very helpful. Understood, looked at our records, took his time, and then recommended us the good logistic way. So what I'm saying is, what was I saying? Oh my God.
Recommendation letter.
Recommendation letters. Which aspect though?
We talked about the dean.
Yes.
And
Okay.
then
Yes.
you
You
have
have
another three.
four.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
have four. One of them has to be from the dean. That's for internal medicine, and so you have three recommendations. So the more U.S. recommendations, the better. And also, if a person in that place likes you, they will be more likely to recommend you during application day.
Okay. So
If you are good, if you deserve it, they are very, very fair people.
okay,
They have a set of standards that if you don't meet, you will not hear from them again.
but if you do meet,
If you do meet, they'll try to help you out as much as you deserve.
yeah.
Okay. Americans never sugarcoat things. You deserve it, you get it. You don't deserve it, you're out. There are 350 million Americans
But is
out
it
there.
fair to say?
Yeah.
Is it fair to say that if you've gone to the point that you're doing your electives, you scored well on your USMLEs, you're passionate, blah blah, is it fair to say you should be okay to secure a recommendation letter, or not even necessarily?
I mean, if you scored well on your exams, you have the knowledge to answer their basic questions, especially that they know they will ask you questions up to your level.
They
will
won't
not
ask you beyond.
Consultant or attending level questions
Right.
like about hyponatremia. That is my nightmare, guys. Who asks hyponatremia questions at 8 a.m.? Come on.
Yeah, no. Okay.
Please don't.
So-
But I also want to say something.
Yeah.
If you go through the business-owned elective opportunities, ask them if, for example, I only end up doing 3 weeks because I have to be back in the country. And if they tell you it's okay, you can do 3 weeks and we will push it on your recommendation to make it look like 1 month.
Mm-hmm.
Big no.
Red flag.
Red flag.
Red flag.
Red flag.
They're just trying to take your money. Okay.
This recommendation might hurt you. By the way, there is a good recommendation and there is an excellent recommendation.
And how do you know what one from the other?
It will show.
Do you get
will
a
read
copy?
it like I'm not that average.
Okay. So you get a copy before you send it.
Most of the times you're not supposed to see it, actually. You will have to waive the recommendation letter. But what I'm trying to say, when you go to up, so you can't see it. So that's what I'm saying. So you're gambling here, by the way. So what I'm trying to say is, you go to a place, you know you did well, you know the doctor likes you, the mentor likes you, he was impressed by you, that's what I mean. He was impressed by your knowledge. And when you go up to him and say, do I deserve a recommendation after this 1 or 2 months? What do you think? He says, of course you do. You've been one of the most brilliant. Now, then and there you will know that you have basically basketed, did I just make that word, up basically a recommendation that will help you out.
Okay.
And
So you gotta feel it out.
Yeah,
with
you
them.
gotta feel
need
it
to
out.
Feel the relationship.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
And a program director can tell between an excellent recommendation and a good recommendation. And
Okay.
a good recommendation is a bad recommendation.
Ah.
A good recommendation is a bad recommendation.
So invest in your relationships.
Medical relationships. I am not gonna spread relationships down here.
No relationship advice on the doctor's
No,
brew.
not me.
So to review.
Yeah.
So far, we've talked about you need to finish step 1. You need to finish step 2.
Yes.
You need to factor in electives, observerships somewhere there. Through these, you need to secure some excellent, not good, excellent letters of recommendation, right? We talked about how at the moment you need to do the, in replacement of step 2 CS, there's a pathway in the hospital of getting your clinical skills verified. Now, next, I wanted to ask about ECMFG certification. What is that?
Basically, it's a certificate that enables you to apply.
Good, fine.
So you will get it after you have completed all your steps. I got it 17 days later.
Okay.
By mail.
So once you finish your requirements, send it in.
They will send it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like apply, I mean.
I mean, it's just like 1 or 2 buttons. I don't remember, to be honest. But I remember I got it like 17 days, 15 days later to my doorstep.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, like
Quick.
at my doorstep. And that was super cool. Free of charge.
Now, the last thing I want to talk to you about is, what's it called? Sorry, I spaced out there for a second. I
That's
was
all right.
like, because I have too many things to ask.
Keep him coming. But no relationship advice, please.
No relationship advice. I want to now ask, because this is a tailored question to Kuwait and the Middle East. You are a government, so let's focus on Kuwait. Government-sponsored pathways through KIMS, because there's a lot of mystery around it because it's not common for Kuwaiti students to go do residency in the US. It's not common. It happens sometimes. What do you know about this process?
Basically, it is, you will involve مكتب الثقافي
مكتب الثقافي. Okay.
and KIMS.
مكتب الثقافي is the cultural office for those
Yes.
of you who don't know. Yeah.
And KIMS. At the same time, I wouldn't recommend, if you have long-term plans to go to the US, I wouldn't recommend you to join the Kuwaiti residency, because you have to take a gap year.
Kuwaiti residency in Kuwait.
In
You don't
Kuwait,
mean government-sponsored residency.
You are not allowed to apply to another residency program.
So do not. It's not.
You'll take a gap year, at least, as per protocol.
So don't do residency in Kuwait.
I mean,
if
it's
you're planning to
unfair.
go.
You will be taking, someone's
course.
seat, and if you have it within you,
Yeah.
if right from the start, then don't kind of do that, because somebody else might want that seat. In my situation, I did want it, but I wasn't. I was here and there, and then we had some medical issues that rose up in my family, and I had to go the hard way. But definitely, so these two. But first of all, you have to get all of these qualifications done, and then some certain programs in the US, they have spots for government endorsed.
And this is through going through the match, or you yourself?
It will be during the match, but you'll have a different path.
Okay.
You don't even have to apply to that many.
Okay.
Your chances are good if you have good qualifications.
Yep.
And they have some colleges, I'm saying, they have a certain seat or a certain number of seats for that, So they will take care of it. They will have their own logistics. They will be expecting you to apply to their own. The same way, by the way, you don't get any leverage. You don't get to bypass a step one or bypass. You have to apply the entire thing.
But do you need to apply through the match, which is the official
You have to
system?
apply, yes. But you'll be applying to one university, university, and you have very good chances. Okay, because you can't get in without applying. You have to apply. But I mean, most of us apply to. I applied to 400 programs.
There we go.
So you will apply, for example, if you're directed, you know what you want. It goes both ways, but they will ask you right from the start, you're Kuwaiti, are you government endorsed? Yes, different process. You will be accepted, but you will not compete in the interviews with the people who are not government endorsed.
Right, so you'll be
You have
competing with the
certain
rest.
seats. You will be applying with only the government endorsed ones, in the Middle East mostly, by the way.
And
And not many are they.
How do you know which programs there are? And where they are all?
You can ask, where are you interested? I'm interested in ABC. Hello, ABC. I am a Kuwaiti government endorsed.
No, but I mean, how do you find those programs? That's my curiosity.
For me, I didn't have that problem. I just applied. I don't care. For me, it's the entire. To me, as soon as I applied, they would send, are you like a government endorsed or not?
Okay, interesting.
But don't wait for that. Like, for example, you have a state in mind?
So my half of my family is in California. I know that California is impossible for IMGs.
Why?
I heard it was very tough for IMGs.
I got interviews in California.
Really? Okay, well, there we go. California, Florida, Massachusetts, and New York. Those are my top 4.
Massachusetts is too cold.
I know, but Boston's beautiful.
You won't be able to see it from the snow. But what I'm trying to say, so, for example, there are some prominent universities, for example, in California, USC, UCLA.
My parents, what's it called? They graduated from USC. So I have a strong personal connection to USC.
There you go. So what I'm saying is, for example, email them. Email their internal medicine. There is a website for the internal medicine program, residency program for USC, for example.
Psychiatry.
Yes. Sorry, psychiatry. I am biased. I will forever be that. And then just, is there a certain pathway? What do you need from me?
Yep.
And then they will tell you. But the whole benefit is your interview process.
It
will be like you and someone else.
And
but without your steps, without your research, without blah blah blah, it will not happen. Without your steps, without your ECFMG.
Yeah, of course.
If you give them your own oil, they will not let you in.
So the only thing that it helps you with really is the interview stage, not
the most important stage.
the most important stage. So
Everything is important. My God,
too many things are important.
I need my beta blockers now. You reminded me of my past traumatic experiences. Oh my God.
Such
It's
as
difficult. Oh no, here we go. Another psychiatry session. This is gonna be a psychiatry session. لا, but honestly, because every time like you're like, oh, step 1 is important. Then you go to step 2. Oh my God, step 2 is important. Then you go, oh my God, I gotta go to do so much.
so much,
Stop.
yeah.
And then you go, oh, connections are important. Connections are recommendations. And then you go.
in what time?
But that's the thing. Everything is important. That nothing is not important.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
It's like a puzzle.
It's frustrating.
It's honestly a puzzle. If one missing piece goes missing, I think I just mentioned that twice, it will not be complete.
Yeah.
So everything is important. So you just have to put them together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for that reason, you need everything there. But interview process, how you present yourself during interview days is essential. And you have to practice a lot for that. And once you practice all that, because sometimes, as I said, you're just a piece of paper, but on interview day, you get to showcase who you are.
You pop.
Shine or not so shine. So,
Shine or rust.
exactly. Oh, yeah. So, pretty sure I rusted here and there. Shined here and there also.
You probably did excellent since you matched, so.
Well, yeah, I mean, but you know. But the thing is, what I'm trying to say, so interview day, when you don't have as much competition, it's much easier, to be honest. But it's still doable for everyone. Non-government endorsed, government, so US MDs, non-US MDs, US IMGs, non-US IMGs, too many entities. I'm telling you, competition is extremely difficult. That's why I always talk about safety. Safety.
Aim as high as you can and do your best.
Yes, because you just gotta go for
It's
the safe
tough.
numbers,
It's
the
tough.
safe applications, save this, save that. And I have to say something. This process is much easier when someone else is with you. I know my best friends did not apply to the US. My best friend, Dr. Mais Sheikh Al-Jabal, I have to
Plug her.
I do. I have to plug you. You were there all the while. She ended up in the German board,
MashaAllah.
and she speaks fluent German.
Oh, really?
I
I
don't
love
think
the
that was in
German
German.
language. It's interesting.
Is it interesting or scary?
I find it like it's I don't know, for me it's because I listen to some German bands.
Okay.
So I like the language.
My God,
yeah.
I'm worried about you a little bit sometimes. But what I'm trying to say is, yeah, she was, even though she didn't apply to the US, but she was with me day by day. My best friend Shayum also, she was with me day by day. It made the process is nerve-wracking beyond words can explain.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a word in the dictionary that can explain how nerve-wracking it is. Honestly,
Yeah.
you will lose your mind.
Yeah.
There were days where I was studying 14 hours a day.
Yeah, no, I was there. It's not fun. And it's I remember the day after my step 2, the day everyone around me said, "You're a different person." I looked back at them and I said, "I feel different."
Yeah.
I literally felt like, because I was so lonely in just studying, that I honestly doubted even medicine about the US, everything.
Is
I
it
doubted.
worth it? That's
100%.
I'm losing my sanity.
Yeah.
I actually lost it so many times. I hope it's back.
So
Not sure sometimes.
honestly, like, and as someone who didn't have that support,
Yes.
I can't recommend enough for the people watching and listening. Have your friends with you, because it is lonely. And like, all honesty, I know we're plugging the US and like how to go, all that kind of stuff, but in the end, it's only one life to live. Don't do something and then lose yourself over it. So
if you
protect
don't want
yourself.
it, first of all, do not apply to the US if you don't think you are motivated enough. It is not an easy process. It is treacherous.
Yes.
It will put you to the limit.
Yes.
It will put you to the edge. It will test you on every aspect. It will test whether or not you can answer a question stem with 16 lines with 9 options
In 30 seconds.
Exactly.
But the thing is, and this is the warning that I've received, it gets worse. Residency is another monster. I'm sorry.
I didn't start residency yet, but this is very hopeful from our future
But
psychiatrist.
the thing is, you want it, and you're clearly motivated.
Yes,
There we go.
It is, but I know that, traveling abroad, that's something that I'm actually worried about. Maybe one day I'm gonna look into this video and maybe smile. I'm not sure actually 3 years from now, but it is a lonely road, especially now that we're older. We're no longer graduated from
Yeah,
high school at the age
yeah.
of 18. We are older. We finished residency. We worked 1 or 2 or 3, 4 years, and then we applied and we accepted. We're more mature. We have different life goals, but I am still holding upon this goal. Very for me, the most challenging part right now is
Leaving.
homesickness.
Can I give you my 2 cents as someone who did it
Please do.
as from high school? It was the most difficult thing I've ever done in every single way. And I'm telling you, I don't know if you know this about me, but my dad got cancer during COVID. So during my final
Yeah.
year, and then he passed away shortly after I came to Kuwait.
Bless his soul.
Thank you.
Allah yarhamah.
But I'll tell you something. If it wasn't for the challenges that being abroad alone forced me to take on, if it wasn't for that, I don't know if I would have been able to deal with my dad's illness in a better way. I thoroughly believe that if I was home the whole time and he got ill, it would have broken me. There wouldn't be, I wouldn't be able to
You would have been shattered.
Exactly. There's no, I would be a trainee. There's no doctor's brew. No. I would have been shattered. But because of the challenges I had to go through early on, it prepared me. And so as someone who went through it, I cannot recommend enough how good it's, like you said about the STEPS program.
Yeah.
Sorry, applying for
Changes
the US.
you, exactly.
It makes you a better physician. So you're
I'm done growing up. Khalas. Please, life stop.
Listen to the song What's My Age Again by Blink-182. Always stay young.
As long as it's not German.
No,
I'm
no,
good.
it's American. Now,
But that's my piece of advice, definitely. And keep your friends close. Even if they're out of the field, get some breaks. Don't lose your sanity. Let's say, the way you feel during test day will impact your score.
yeah.
Practice. Do your NMBE practice exams before going to your USMLE Step 2 exam or Step 1 exam. Attain a safe score on your NMBME practice exams. And once you reach a score that you are safe with, go into the exam.
And keep pushing forward.
Keep pushing forward, and if there is anything that you need, you can always approach me or Dr. Aziz. We're always willing to help.
Always.
We really wish everybody the best. Please, only when you are motivated, when you have a very good standing, and if you can start early, do it. Otherwise, it's a huge sacrifice. The US board, maybe the biggest sacrifice.
Honestly, yeah. Dictola, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
It's my pleasure.
You've motivated me. You've inspired me. You've taught me. I can't thank you enough. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that are going to be watching and are going to be thanking you in the comments.
Thank you so much.
Now, please, can you just tell us for anyone who's listening, what's your Instagram handle? I want everybody to follow Dr. Sam. If you haven't already, I'd say statistically speaking, you already do. But I'm just saying the one or two.
You got so many beautiful people that I don't have, and
Let's share them. Let's share them.
Sharing is caring. Yes. So it's at Dr. Sam Shuaibi, SAMSHUAIBI.
Perfect. And we'll show it here at the screen.
It's gonna come on the screen?
Yeah.
So I'm looking at it right now?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
So yeah, please go follow her, guys. She's a great source of information, a great person just to follow, to learn more about medicine. Again, like that's why we brought her on. So please.
Thank you so much, Wallah, for having me. I salute you and applaud you, and I applaud all your interns here. You guys are doctors and doing this on the side. This is amazing.
Thanks.
Good job, guys. Good job, guys.
Thank you so much. Well, guys, that's the last sip of coffee for the day. A final special thank you to our guest. Please be sure to follow her and see you next time.
Hopefully, inshallah.
Hope you all enjoyed this episode of The Doctor's Brew. New episodes to listen to with a cup of coffee coming your way every Sunday on YouTube and Spotify. And be sure to follow us on Instagram for all the latest updates. See you next time.